I got to do this right. Where is that?
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo! Hump day!
Oh, it's the little things in life. Happy hump day, everybody. It's great to be with you. Hi, how you doing? I was up early today on Rumble. Brock. I was all over. I rumbled at the crack. Oh, smack. 513 rumbles. Hey, everybody. It's great to be with you. Your silence is kind of creeping me out a little bit. I got to admit, you're usually chatty and now you're not. So that's weird.
I'm trying to work here.
Oh, like you're on the Starship Enterprise and you've got a lot going on at present. A lot of moving parts, a lot of things to worry about.
Well, I've got the radio side that needs their...
Oh.
Wow. Here's what we like to refer to in man world. No win.
Noted. Nice. Let's see where everybody's tuning in from. I know, Moreno. Let's go, Ohio. That's the monologue, okay? I'm just going to say it. Let's see what you guys are doing. Where are you from? Where's everybody watching?
Well, we have over 1,600, but only 615 rumbles.
I know. We got to smash that button so I can shut the hell up about it.
Yeah, really.
I know. I wouldn't want to hear me either. Hump day. I know. I was going to ask Brock what day it was, but.
Hump day.
Oh, that's my day is complete. It's very
we
basic.
Can leave now? Okay, it was nice talking to everybody today.
Kansas City. What's up, West Virginia and Florida and Texas? Good morning, Fox Chapel, Pennsylvania. We got Oklahoma in the house. Philly.
I thought the commercial would take over me saying hump day.
No, thanks. No, I like hump day.
So don't run the commercial anymore?
Hello. No, I do love that, but I like it when you do it too.
Mike.
Wisconsin. We have Indiana. We have Colorado. Hello, everybody. Arizona. We have Canton. Hello, Ditto Head. Great to have you. We have, oh my gosh, lots of Pennsylvania.
A lot of Pennsylvania.
Kentucky, El Paso, Utica,
Virginia.
New York. Rice Lake, Wisconsin, Georgia,
Washington State,
Boise, Idaho. What's
Montana.
up, Riley? I love it. Patriot Chris, great to be with you.
Kansas.
We got Georgia. Holy Washington State.
Cucamonga, California.
Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh.
I think that's what it is.
Yes,
Rancho
it is.
Cucamonga?
Yes, it says Rancho first, but I didn't know what that meant.
Yes.
I'm not a world traveler.
It's all right. Winchester Bay, Oregon. That sounds lovely. I could go there. Totally. Fremont, Nebraska. What's going on? It's going so
You ever
fast.
drive through Nebraska?
It's very
flat.
It is. South Dakota, Seminole, Florida. I love it.
Carolina. Geo in Carolina.
Where is our Geo? I haven't seen Carol and Geo in a long time.
I just said it.
But that he's not in Carolina.
Well,
Geo is here.
Geo and Carolina.
Hi, Geo.
Green Tree.
Oh.
Nikki B says this is her favorite show.
Oh, that's nice. Why am I so close in this? Is my camera way too close?
No.
Are you sure? I don't need to be closer than I already am. Like distance is a good
thing. That's where
thing.
you typically are.
Okay.
Until it moves because you start yelling at it.
I don't start.
Facts.
It doesn't seem like I'm centered. Can you see if I'm centered? I'm not. Right?
Oh, here we go. Other way. There you go.
Oh, for the love of all that is holy. Okay. It's the little things, guys.
Show them DJT.
Oh, he's doing great.
He's fantastic. I think that 3 days in the hyperbolic chamber made a huge difference.
Or Barrick, whatever one you want.
What? Did you ever hate someone?
I was just trying.
What are you, Joe Biden? What?
It's sort of like
Illinois.
sort of chivesy. A little bit. Isn't he cute? Chia.
Salty wants to know why you always flaunt the gigantic diamond like that. So hurtful.
Which gigantic? This thing? That? I was going to wear my Wonder Woman bracelet today, but I think it's going to clank. It's going to clank.
That's
too
more
much.
of a Cleopatra.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it.
Okay.
See, if I'm very demonstrative, makes me feel girly. I don't know. Salty's feeling as though what? The ring is the barrier between him and me.
Yeah, I think so.
It is how it works. Last time I checked, 26 years almost. We're getting there. Hey, Gio. Oh, Gio, I love you. I love you. We love you. Love you. Thank you for the personal message. All right.
Here we go.
Oh, boy. What are we talking about?
A little late.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Hello, America and beyond the fruited plain. Welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program, your source for common sense, conservative values, delivered by a mom who every day pledges to you to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. We're delighted that you're part of the program, Wendy Bell Radio Network. Join along the live video stream, hop on the chat, join the family, because I think if you give us a little bit of your time, you're going to feel like this is home. And there's always room for you. So welcome. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. So I got this really fly rental car. Got to tell you all about it, all right? There was a little mishap at our house, little fender bender. And I'm not going to tell you what went on because I don't really think it would be fair for me to tell you that my husband backed up into my son's car. I just think that wouldn't be fair for me to put out there in the atmosphere that that's triggered a giant snowball effect that has guzzled up thousands of dollars, an insurance claim, a now rental car, 10 days in the shop, and assorted other hassles because he's not here to defend himself. So I'll let you guys figure out what really happened in our driveway. But I will tell you, I'm driving a new rental car. Well, it's not new. It's fine, though. But it's got all of these automatic safety things that are programmed onto it. So I'm driving along, beep, 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 beep. And it's got the lane assist, right? So if you veer a little bit, if you kind of drift a little too much, it goes and like drags you back. And if you're too close to somebody, it goes boop, 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 and like flashes and all this stuff. It's so freaking annoying. I can't even begin to tell you. Then if you're backing up, right, and it senses something going on, it slams on the brakes and goes, and it's alarming. It's almost as though I've never driven before and the car is going to make it so much easier for me. What it is makes me feel unsafe, makes me feel like I'm not in control until Brock pushed that magic little button and went boop and everything went away. I don't want to be on lane assist. I don't need something to steer my car. I don't want something to bark alarms at me. I don't need to be reminded of how to be responsible. But in the world in which we live today, we are told that we can no longer make these decisions for ourselves, that we, in fact, need to be bubble wrapped and protected, that there's always some big danger, some fear looming on the horizon. And if it isn't for these people in charge, we might not survive. It's not working. Worked for a while. They were really desperate during COVID until they went over the limit, because I think each of us rationally can deal with some lane assist, right? I can deal with somebody helping me out. I just don't need it to guide every decision I make. And when the government swooped in and lied to us and told us that this was the way it had to be, and those of us who lived in dictatorial liberal states with governors with giant egos and very little aptitude, and they waved that magic wand of tyrannical executive order, I think a lot of us got a taste for what it would be like to be on permanent autopilot. I don't like it. I don't want it. I didn't vote for it. Get out of here. Leave me alone. I think what you're getting is, in Ohio, this is the big story for me today. It's just wonderful to be able to say that this Trump-endorsed candidate, Bernie Moreno, has won in the Ohio Republican Senate primary. And why this was super important is, it's multifaceted, because it's everything that we've come to understand about living in a bubble-wrapped, lane assist, cruise control world. When you forfeit your ability to make decisions for you, and you allow the government to open the door and put their foot in, they want to start flooding you with all the propaganda, all the fear tactics. Some people are more susceptible to these mechanisms and these modes of control than others. But what we saw in Ohio yesterday was a decisive pushback, a middle finger, if you will, to the crowd out there that believes we can't make decisions for ourselves. Like the establishment GOP is really the safe place to be. It's that middle lane. It's not too edgy over here on the left where MAGA is driving because they've got somewhere to go. It's not over here on the right where they're like afraid of everything when the Democrats are hanging out. We rejected that. Ohio chose the fast lane yesterday, and it wasn't even close. And these people tried everything to throw at this Bernie Moreno guy because Donald Trump endorsed him. Because Donald Trump said, this is my guy. This is the MAGA guy. And if you're tired of middle lane, slowpoke, cruise control, rhino suck, you gotta move over. Let's go. I love these numbers. This is after, of course, the hit piece on Moreno that I believe it was the Associated Press put out there, right? That he, back in 2008, had created a profile on some site looking for, adult companionship with another man. Didn't happen. They knew it didn't happen. And they printed the story anyway. Desperation. These are very important things for us to be able to identify, because this is the strategy. This is what is intended to drive you into that cattle chute of control. And when I say it wasn't close, like polls closed last night, 7:30. And by 8:30, with 25% of the vote counted, they're like, it's over, lights out. How bad was it? Right? Because in the days leading up to this election, we were told, it's going to be a nail biter. Who knows what's going to happen? You've got your establishment guy, this Matt Dolan. You've got another guy who's irrelevant, Frank LaRose. And then you've got Bernie Moreno. And if you're not in Ohio, you're like, I don't care. Yeah, you do care. Because this is a really big Senate race against Sherrod Brown, who is Hacky Hackmore, 2% Liberty score. FA, for those of you who like Spanish lingo, he's terrible. This flipping of the seat in the Senate is giant if we can make it happen. So what did the vote come down to? Was it a nail biter? That's what we're told right now. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, nail biter, neck and neck. Please. You think that? Please get back over into the right lane then. Bernie Moreno, 50.5%. That's the votes that he got. 50.5% of all the votes. He got half of all the votes. His next closest, Matt Dolan, 32.9. Frank LaRose, 16.6. That's 6. That means that Moreno got more points than his opponents combined. And that he won every single Ohio county in an increasingly conservative state. Now they have not a conservative. They have a Republican in name only governor. He sucks. He'll be replaced at some point. This is the beginning. This is the separating the suck from the strong. Those who want to go along, bob along like the beach ball on the ocean. Just go with the flow. Status quo. Don't dream too big. It's all going to be fine. Get back in your car, strap in. It'll drive you wherever you need to go. Versus the strong side that is tired, that is done with control, that is ready for revolution. Now, you can put your hair on fire there and say, she's calling for war. Sure hope it doesn't come to that. Because if there's another cheat, if there's another scam, if there's another virus, if there's another reason to flood us with dubious ballots and results, and if the people who are going to think about doing that think we're not paying attention and we're not ready, you got another thing coming. This is big for Moreno. Trump-backed Republican businessman Bernie Moreno winning Ohio's Republican nomination for U.S. Senate, advancing now in November to the general election against Senator Sherrod Brown. I want you to think about the backdrop of this. I want you to think about the Trump effect. I want you to think about the MAGA faction of the Republican Party, because the party is splitting. Our country's already divided, left over here, right over here. But what is happening more importantly is a restructuring of the Republican Party. Well past due. I would have liked to have seen this before George H.W. Bush. But it is happening now. And consider the manner in which this is happening. Despite all of the legal mumbo jumbo, despite the hundreds of millions of dollars that the left expects Donald Trump to cough up because he dared love America and he dared connect with you and with me. Someone like Bernie Moreno wins, and it ain't even close. Pay attention, Democrats, because we're getting started. Just getting started. When we come back, my friends, on the Wendy Bell radio program, 70% of Ohio GOP voters say this about what's coming up in November. I'm going to tell you what it is. We'll fill in the blank next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. As a matter of full honesty, when we came in this morning, one of the gentlemen in the radio studio next to us decided to make some coffee, some Maxwell House coffee.
I poured it out.
Brock poured it out. And we sort of felt bad. No, we didn't, because we have Crescent Mountain coffee. And once you've had Crescent Mountain coffee, the Wendy Bell Radio Patriot Blend, Zizzle Blend, Christmas Blend, even the decaf espresso, you can't go back. I mean, it's like when you see the light in politics, you're like, oh my gosh, I can never be just moderate anymore, because these aren't moderate times. So thank you to everybody who's purchased our Crescent Mountain coffee. It's so good. CrescentMountainCoffee.com. But from that, we are, as you can see up here on the scrolling bar on the screen, we are giving our March proceeds. We make 10% off of every bag sold, so $1.80. And we're giving every month, we're going to give it away to somebody, some cause that we believe in. This one right now is the supporting the J6 hostages, the January 6 hostages, the prisoners who have been literally tortured in prison for more than 1,000 days. We have the ability at sponsorj6.com to provide money in sponsoring their commissary. So their extras, their personal hygiene, their clothing, their various food things that they can purchase. That one connection to the outside world where it kind of feels normal again. That's what sponsorj6.com is all about. And we are proud advocates of Jake Lang and his sponsor J6.com endeavors. And if you would like to join us and make a single donation or a recurring donation, I know money is tight for everybody, but to send a message to these folks that they are not forgotten is huge. Sponsor J6.com. I had no idea until I opened my mouth that I was going to talk about that stupid rental car. And I did just kind of throw Joe under the bus, didn't I?
Well,
if in fact that's what happens.
I do subscribe to the bro code.
Yeah.
But I mean, he did do it.
And you know, who's the one person who's not inconvenienced? Which is curious, right? All of the phone calls go through me. Auto body, auto insurance, coordination. Of course, Ryan's not old enough to drive a rental car. So I get to take the rental car while he takes my car. Fantastic. Feeling good. Feeling good. It's almost like it kind of bothers me. Wow. Was that for Joe in solidarity?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you really just do that? I got 2 polls to drop on you. You know, we like polls. They give us kind of good talking points. I'm not so sure I'm putting a lot of my eggs in these baskets. If it's not big data polling by Rich Barris, the People's Pundit, I'm not really all that interested in it, but these are interesting things to chat about. So in Ohio, as this primary was going on and the Republican race was being closely monitored, there was an exit poll, and this is from Breitbart, okay? 70% of Ohio Republican primary voters say it is important for Ohio's next senator to support Donald Trump. Now, that's pretty big. We are seeing an aligning of this party. We are seeing it breaking, and then the sides, the factions, taking their own kind of dugout, right? 70%, strong majority of voters in Ohio's Republican primary Tuesday said they believe the state's incoming U.S. senator should publicly support former President Donald Trump in his race for the White House. This is a CBS News exit poll. 70% holding this belief broken down into specifics. 55% feel it is very important that Ohio's next senator support Trump. 15% say it is somewhat important. Conversely, 29% believe it is the opposite, that it's unimportant to them that their senators support Trump. Okay. But I think that this is very interesting in what I believe is an increasingly conservative leaning state. I think for a lot of folks in Ohio, which is considered by the establishment ruling class of SOC to be flyover, to be a place that's paid attention to only when necessary. I think the defining moment was East Palestine. It was the in-your-face fireball, the ridiculous decision to torch toxic materials, and then to pretend that the administration was there, boots on the ground, in moments, doing magnanimous things to lead. The folks of Ohio know what happened. They got the shaft. Because in America today, when Democrats are in charge, you get the shaft. You feel the shaft. And when it ruins your water, and it destroys your soil, and it frightens you about cancer, game over. 70% say whomever is the next senator from Ohio, get in line with Donald Trump. Interesting. Then there is this story. We're going to go over to New York. Another Democrat hellscape. Survey reveals only half of New Yorkers plan to stay in the Democrat-run city. You know, these things come out, and I fail to grasp how we should be worried about. It's a dead heat. Trump and Biden are tied. In no world Is that the case? In no world. In no realville world. Only half of New Yorkers plan to stay in the city, according to a survey of more than 6,600 New York City households. I'm chuckling not because it's funny. It's freaking tragic. And you're going to hear from Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary from the O'Leary Group. Again, this is a guy who's not a Trump fan, who says, take Donald Trump out of what is going on. We are watching America's death in real time, and it is frightening. Why is everyone so unhappy in New York City when they're getting exactly what they voted for? True. Unhappy these Democrats certainly are, especially compared to 7 years ago. Only 39% of those polled, 6,600 households, say they were happy with the level of public safety in their neighborhood. But wait a minute, Eric Adams just came out as the mayor. And he said, I mean, not his sexual abuse, we'll talk about those charges another time, I'm sure. He's talking about how great and safe and wonderful it is in New York City. Oh, come. Really? Hells no. Only 39% say they're content with the state of public education. Only 34% are satisfied with their neighborhood's cleanliness. Pay attention to what's going on in the garbage sector of your community. And I'm not talking about liberal neighbors. I'm talking specifically about pride, about your city government making it a priority to clean up, to present to the outward world the image of success. That's what cleanliness is, a projection of pride in oneself or one's environment. In my Democrat hellscape, which is Pittsburgh, it's garbage central. Look around. When asked, how would you rate the quality of life in New York City overall? Only 29.8% said excellent or good. That is down from 51.2% in 2017 and 50.9% in 2008. As you can imagine, safety, a major issue. When asked to rate how safe or unsafe you feel riding a subway during the day, 49% said they felt safe during the day. The day. That's a catastrophic drop from 82% just in 2017. Well, now, you don't have to be a rock star to figure out what is going on. Democrat governance sucks. It's smoke and mirrors. It's bells and whistles. It's based on fear. It's based on feelings. It's not based in quality. It's not about results. It's not about safety. It's not about any of that. It's about a few people believing that they should be in charge. And you should vote for them because you always have. That's changing. We're watching it in Ohio. Senator Sherrod Brown, get ready, my man, because it kind of feels like MAGA's coming for you. Quick time out. Kevin O'Leary with the truth bombs on CNN next. Hey, Texas Bullion Exchange. You know what? I want to say this. And this is kind of prepared commentary that I'd written out with my friends at Texas Bullion. But, you do not have to shop every single day to know your money is not going nearly as far. It's just not. And it used to be cash is king. And now we've got all this talk about going to digital money and all this stuff. And it's all going to be centrally. Oh, no. No. You need to have a cold cash in your hand. And a great way to have it is through precious metals. That is why I like Texas Bullion Exchange. TexasBullion.com. 855-927-5557. They're going to send you the information you need. You're like, you know what? I don't have a lot of money in my 401k, my IRA. I don't have a lot of savings to put into this, but I have enough. How much do I need? What does it cost? What does it look like? What does this do for me? And I'm just going to encourage you one more time. If you've got grandkids and you're trying to think about ways that you can provide for them, that's not going to get completely wrangled in taxes, call Texas Bullion. What can you do to hook up your grandkids, to give to them these precious metals? Palladium, platinum, gold, silver. They know. They're the experts. TexasBullion.com. TexasBullion.com. And remember, if you make a certified coin purchase, you'll save 10% if you use my name. A little bit. It's not going to be fantastic, but a little bit of an edge, I think, helps. All right. So what's going on out there, Brock? You've been oddly quiet.
Well, you've been talking.
Oh, yes, that's true.
So you guys got on the leaderboard yesterday, number 4, with all the rumbles.
We did not kill it with views. We had like 40 odd thousand.
Yeah.
It was not phenomenal, but it is because of your interaction.
It is. It absolutely 100% with the rumbles and the chat going.
Yeah. Every time you guys chitter chatter on here, every time I ask you a question and you respond, that elevates our numbers. Now, I'm not really trying to point whore. I'm very curious about where you're watching from, and it makes me happy to see. But
today, we are second editor's pick.
Ooh.
First in the live section, first in the podcast section.
How you doing? Yeah, it's creepy, but it's intended to be.
Yeah.
I've got schmutz in my throat. So if you can rumble, if you can hit that little green button underneath Brock's big hand, that helps us. I think personally that we can hit 2,000 rumbles before we even come back. And that means 220 people just hitting that button. We got 10-3 watching. We got 771 on X. Hello, welcome, Twitter. We appreciate you.
There's only so many chats to be able to watch. And there's only so many screens.
Let's go. We got 183. We got 170 in about 2.5 minutes. What do you think? I think you can do it. I do. And I hope you can. Please. Got 185. All right, 150 to
10,
go.
3, we got 186. 10-3
10-3
watching. 778 on X.
So imagine, if you will, if we, and I'd like to do this experiment. By the way, I know that he's not paying attention, but my personal condolences to Dan Bongino, who lost his mom.
It's a rough way to find out too, you know.
So,
and can I say a thank you to the gentleman that stopped and got me a bottle of bourbon?
He's from he's our friend. He's from NDD Refinishing.com. He's the guy who does all the cabinet refinishing, who refinished cabinets in my kitchen. It was off the charts.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just wanted to say thank you. And he stopped at Mason-Dixon and bought us each a bottle of bourbon until Brock told me they were $80 each. I was like,
they're like,
what?
Last time I was there, it was 70. It's a small distillery, you know, but
198. Look at you guys.
Yeah. Much appreciated.
That's so nice, Sean.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Very kind. 20 people. Do we have 20?
Here we go. Here comes the can we get 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10?
You guys, it's called an auctioneer. You guys missed even better hair this morning than I had yesterday. So thank you for the buck. Appreciate it. I love this show. Great way to start
a half
my
an
day.
hour
Thank you.
in, we have 2K.
Can we hit 4 today? I mean, honest to God, can we just go? Can we get, let's just say, can we just get 25%? 25% of the people paying attention to Rumble. That would be
And
off
thank
the
you to
charts.
all the people who have
We're almost there. 2,000, 10,000, close.
started following the page. We're up almost 1,000 in the last week and a half.
Got some really weird hair going on today.
And Sean must have saw my post
Must have seen, have seen, saw, have seen. He must have seen. Go ahead.
on Facebook because my brother went there and sent a picture, and I was just like, that's just ignorant.
What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about. See, he dangle modifies.
I'll have to tell you next break.
Okay.
I know you'll be on pins and needles.
So this is the United States of America under siege. It's basically what we're talking about today. And it really is. This is the autopiloting of your life. And see, they need you asleep. They need you afraid. They need you disconnected, discombobulated. They need you inconvenienced, broke, desperate. They need you broke in to be able to swoop in and do it again. Now, you're not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let that happen. And the challenge, I think, inherently, is us grabbing people in our orbits and waking them up. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on against Donald Trump. It's everything that the Democrats say MAGA is all about. Threat to democracy. They're going to go after their political opponents. They're going to rule dictatorially. They're going to introduce tyranny into these United States. It's already here. I mean, come on. I'll just look at this headline from Breitbart. Impossible for Trump to post bond covering $454 million civil fraud judgment. Just watch what they're doing to one person because he was the guy that interrupted the plan. They hate you because you made it happen. And that is why they are going after the January 6ers like this. I think by extension, they're the closest thing to punching at because we disrupted the overall strategy. It is impossible for former President Donald Trump to post a bond covering the full amount of his $454 million civil fraud judgment while he appeals. His lawyers told a New York appellate court Monday. His lawyers wrote in a court filing that, quote, obtaining an appeal bond in the full amount of the judgment is not possible under the circumstances presented. With interest, Trump owes $456.8 million. Well, what did he do? He didn't do anything. He's rich. He's married to a beautiful woman. He loves this country. His family is reputable, good people, respectful, responsible people. And Donald Trump is winning. And the left hates that. And so does the rhino right. Hate it. So they're going to do everything in their power to destroy him. Once you see enough pattern of destruction, it's only logical to look inside and say, when am I next? When am I the next one rounded up? What's to stop the IRS from coming after me and making my life miserable? And now these very curious Supreme Court proceedings where you have a justice who believes that there should be government intervention when it comes to matters of free speech. That's a cruise control lane I don't want to be in. It's time to exit. Where is the off-ramp? Stat. I was intrigued by Kevin O'Leary. Now, he speaks as a Shark Tank personality, as a very successful multimillionaire, innovator, entrepreneur, investor, what have you. He speaks fiscally, but he also speaks commonsensically. You do not have to have a lot of money to understand the role of money in your life. And what he sees, not just in his beloved New York City, but in his beloved America, are war games. And the big loser is America. We have a couple audio sound bites for you. And I think it's very interesting when he sits down with CNN and these two women on CNN. One is the host. She has been on with him before. I forget her name. Another is just some white college-educated liberal woman who embodies everything that is so unfortunate about the left, I think. She thinks it's perfectly reasonable with no harm done to anybody. Nobody who lost any money, nobody who was a victim of any kind of fraud. In fact, Donald Trump really not even found guilty of anything other than being Donald Trump. That's what he was found guilty of. And then being forced to pay $500 million just so he can appeal, because that is the structure this wacko Judge Engeron, who likes to take selfies with his shirt off, right? This is what he decided, because this makes sense. But Donald Trump is the one going after his political opponents. Got it. 3 audio sound bites that I think they're stunning, because you hear in Kevin O'Leary's voice true alarm. This isn't some hit. He's not promoting a book. He doesn't need the FaceTime. He's genuinely scared for America. Audio soundbite number 1, Kevin O'Leary, CNN. This is not about Donald Trump, he says, and he's right. Listen.
I don't think this case is about Trump anymore. I think this case is about New York. It's about the American brand. It's about what we promised the world in terms of fairness and justice and investing capital in a country that's built the largest economy on earth. Forfeiture, seizing of assets. Is that in our nomenclature in America? Is that what we tell people that want to bring their money here and protect property rights? Forget about Trump. Nothing to do with Trump. You think this is good for business in New York? You think this is good for business in America? To take a law that we used to protect people against buying refrigerators at an overpriced value decades ago and apply it against an individual and then talk about seizing assets like he was in Venezuela or in Cuba? This is a very, very, very bad look for New York. And everybody around the world is watching this. This may be great for the Attorney General, but this is not good for America.
You're not hearing him. You're not. And the smug woman next to you who's smiling as though she's got some great secret she's keeping, right? It's very distasteful. If you can imagine in your mind's eye, if you're listening, their images 3 in a row, the news host in the middle, O'Leary to the right, and this other hack on the left who's smirking. Do you think we're playing games? Do you think it's funny? Do you think it's funny to try to cripple somebody financially because you disagree with him politically, because he kicked your ass and you know he's going to kick your ass again? Is that funny to you? Because it's not It's not funny. In East Palestine, Ohio, the people there live on freaking pins and needles about what's going to happen in their future. Because they can't sell their property. They can't move. Nobody would buy it. Why? Because some schmuck decided to light it up and destroy the water, the air, and the soil. You think it's funny? So then Kevin O'Leary continues, why isn't Donald Trump's property sufficient collateral? Well, that's what she's going to ask him. Why isn't this? Listen, it's maddening, and his dismantling is beautiful. Go.
But in terms of the valuation, can you be clear as to why? I mean, why would the properties not be sufficient collateral?
What a great message to send out all around the world. Take a claim where there was no monies lost. There was no fraud here in the context of actually people losing money. Deutsche Bank, who made the loan, was made whole. And let's make a penalty of $500 million against a crime, apparently, where no monies were lost. Great message for New York. Great message for America. Bring your capital because we'll protect your property. I think that was a statement that would be much better made sometime in Venezuela. I'm not kidding. That's a scary, scary message.
Scary message. Now the liberal hack on the far left is giggling and she wants to jump in. She's got some rock star analysis of what's really going on here. And O'Leary has nothing to do with it. Prepare for the evisceration. Go.
And by the way, there are no
Again,
such thing
the
as
laws exist to
$500
protect the
bonds.
marketplace.
There are no $500 million bonds. Never been done before. Never. This law has never been applied. Forget about Trump. Nothing to do with Trump. Everything to do about America and the New York brand. I love this state. My children live here. A horrible message to everybody around the world watching this. Absolutely horrific.
Well,
This
wait,
case
Kevin,
goes
Kevin,
way
but
past
hold on a
Trump.
second, Kevin.
Trump
What
will
would
be
be
gone one day. This
hold on a
attorney
second.
general will be gone one day, and this
I
is
have
what
a
you want to
wonderful
tell
voice,
people
and
around
it
the
won't
world.
be talked
This
over.
is how we
Kevin
treat money
O'Leary,
in America.
I would like to
This
hear what you have
is
to say,
not
but
America.
what are you doing?
Not America.
But it's not America, but it is.
What are you doing? I'm telling you what's going on. And you want to dance around the fire and tell me that it's not burning you? Do you have any idea? Because they'll come for you too. This has been the plan all along. Letitia James. This is what her goal was. This is what she ran on. Dark money funded woman. I want to play for you. I mean, listen to this. This is just 25 seconds of basically Letitia James being triggered anti-Donald Trump. And it begins with these words, hard to make out, so I'm going to tell you. Somebody shouting out to Letitia James, please sue him for us. Listen to this.
Will you sue him for us? Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass. I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president. We need to focus on Donald Trump. We need to follow his money. What is fueling my soul right now is Trump.
This illegitimate president. I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, and then going home.
Isn't it terrible to be a liberal? No wonder they're so miserable. No wonder they have that face on all the time. No wonder my oldest son wants to leave Pennsylvania and go somewhere where perhaps the women are a little warmer. And so's the climate. This is the focus. How can you hate one individual so much and try to use that hatred as your campaign and think that we're not onto you? It's gross. When we come back, MAGA on offense. So while all this is going on, Donald Trump files a lawsuit against one news hack in particular. We'll tell you who and whom Republicans are encouraged to boycott. Coming up next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Ooh, when's the last, what?
Do you hear that fuzz?
I was going to say, when's the last time you replaced the batteries?
That's terrible. I mean, I can, but I don't think that's what it is. Do you hear it?
Not in the commercial, but
I have it so loud. Nope. That's not what it is. You guys have that? You hear that too? Is it me? Yeah, you hear the buzz.
yeah, I don't know what that is.
I hate to do this. While you figure it out, I don't know. What are we going to do? Is that only when we're on the stream? Didn't this happen once before? Yeah, we got it. I get you guys. I get you.
Yeah, it wasn't there at the beginning.
turn my microphone on, does it go away?
It does. When I turn your mic on.
Thank God, at least for the radio. But this is
The sides of the iRig, what are they at? Can you see that?
6.
Turn it down a little bit. Hold you give me a second. Turn it down a little bit.
Sorry, guys. We're trying to figure it out. This is the joy of letting you see everything. Hey, quickly, I'm not going to talk about Kelly right now. Let's see if we can get this out of our head. Like that you had to powder my head.
It's a little better. It's a little better.
It's not in my ears. That's terrible.
Oh, no, I don't hear it anymore. So
you don't. I do.
On the stream.
Oh.
I don't hear it.
Wow.
You still hear it?
Oh, my God. It's terrible. Unplug the headset and plug it back in. Flat, I already did. I know. I'm super smart that way. Yeah, it's bad.
I'll talk to Jason when he gets me.
Fantastic.
I don't know what you want me to do.
I'm not saying that you should do anything. I just... it's frustrating to deal with unreasonable people. I remember when I was little, I had a contentious relationship with my father. It was usually because of me. I pushed every button and stretched every limit. And he was a disciplinarian, and I got what I got. I mean, I deserved what I got. But I remember him saying, it's okay to disagree, Wendy, but you cannot disagree disagreeably. Because then you lose people. They don't listen to you. They don't pay attention. You don't connect. So if you're going to have a disagreement with somebody, make sure you do it respectfully so you don't lose them before you share your message. I agree. Donald Trump has every reason to disagree disagreeably and to fight back and to be so angry at everything. And I'm constantly amazed at how he is just so predictably even keel. There's no up, down, ins and outs. It's just very steady the course. And so you have to laugh when you read that he's suing George Stephanopoulos for lying and saying that he was found guilty of sexually assaulting E. Jean Carroll, who, like Christine Blasey Ford, had verbatim recollections 35 years later of some ill somebody did to them, right? Which gives every victim of assault a bad name. So here's your headline, Breitbart. Nancy Mace. Remember Nancy Mace was sitting there talking with George Stephanopoulos? And he was talking about Donald Trump. He's been accused of this. He's been found guilty of that. And Nancy Mace came out and she said, I'm a survivor of rape. And it feels to me like you're shaming me into not supporting Donald Trump and MAGA and using this quote unquote $90 million lawfare judgment against him, even though he was never found guilty of physically doing anything to E. Jean Carroll. He just made a judge butthurt. And so, like Judge Engeron, this particular judge whacked him with $90 million. And George Stephanopoulos tried to shame her about that. And she's like, look, George, you're not going to do that, bro. It is disgusting that you're making me feel like this. Have you ever been raped? I hope not. Well, Republicans now, Nancy Mace says, should boycott ABC News until George Stephanopoulos is held accountable for being a liar. So the Republican from South Carolina, Nancy Mace, said Republicans should avoid all interviews with ABC News as former President Donald Trump sues anchor George Stephanopoulos and the network for defamation. Right on. How is this guy bogged down with all of this court crap and still able to fire off offensive shots? As Breitbart News reported on Tuesday, the former president filed a defamation suit against Stephanopoulos and ABC News after the anchor said in an interview with Nancy Mace that Trump had been, quote, held liable by a jury for the rape and defamation of E. Jean Carroll. Now, the incident occurred during Stephanopoulos' interview with Mace, March 10th. Stephanopoulos, I can never say his stupid name, said during the interview, judges and 2 separate juries have found him liable for rape and for defaming the victim of that rape. How do you square your endorsement of Donald Trump with the testimony we just saw? Well, Trump's attorney, Alejandro Brito, said in a 20-page complaint that Stephanopoulos made the false statements with actual malice or with reckless disregard for the truth, which would be the standards for defamation. Indeed, the jury expressly found that plaintiff, Trump, did not commit rape, and as demonstrated below, defendant George Stephanopoulos was aware of the jury's finding in this regard, yet still falsely stated otherwise. In a statement Tuesday, Nancy Mace said Republicans should boycott ABC News until Stephanopoulos gets held accountable for his words. Quote, Bob Iger needs to get control of ABC News, she said. Actions like this are the reason Americans have lost trust in the press. ABC leadership should hold George Stephanopoulos accountable immediately for intentionally lying about Donald Trump during our interview or pay a steep price for his actions. Now, I agree with all of this, of course. I agree with all of it. They are so used to being the propaganda wing of the establishment, beltway ruling class of government that is encompassing Republicans and Democrats, that they lie with abandon, with no shame, right? I mean, honestly, how many times has Tony Fauci lied under oath? How many times has Chris Wray lied under oath? How many times did Hunter Biden being deposed by the House Judiciary? How many times did he lie under oath? So we're getting to this point where the media need not tell the truth. They can do whatever the hell they want, get away with it. And if you decide to lie in a court of law or in an official proceeding, and you're a Democrat or you're covering for a Democrat, it's cool. It's not cool. The good news is I stopped watching ABC a long time ago. I pulled the plug on all of these outfits 8 years ago. I have not watched one single complete broadcast. I've watched a snippet here and a snippet there, specifically for the purposes of mocking them mercilessly the next day. Why are you still watching? Because honestly, have you gotten anything from these people that is better than what you get now, places like this? Of course not. The first hour of the program has come to a rapid conclusion. That does not mean we are not ramping up for much more, because coming up in hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program, I'm going to drop a truth bomb on you. I know it's totally crazy, right? Did you know that people who have guns equal criminals thinking twice about committing crimes? What? There's a correlation between an armed electorate and a safe one? I know! It's crazy! I got it for you next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Listen, I'm going to look at the. You don't need to tell me about the buzz. I know. I'm going to look at it.
Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me now? Hello, hello.
Yep.
Okay. I want to tell you quickly about Morgane's Fitness, Kelly Morgan and Morgane's Fitness. I love what she's doing. I love when I can get behind a veteran, an entrepreneur, a mom, a seer. Like, she's created this business model. It hasn't been overnight. It's been with a lot of hard work, but it works. So if you live in Western Pennsylvania, Somerset, Cambria County, stop by one of her 4 locations. Get involved in the 90-day Ignite program. Join the gym. Take control of your everything. You know, nobody's going to do this for you. And we've got to be in fighting shape. We've got to be strong. We have to be focused. We have to be determined. We have to never quit. And that is what you get when you go to Morgane's Fitness. And I love being a part of Kelly's life. And you can be a part of it too and get fitness in your routine. Morgane's Fitness, MORGAINZ fitness.com, morgainsfitness.com. Just awesome person. And I also quickly, because I missed out on being able to tell you guys, Ireland Contracting had wonderful success with you guys during their window sale where they offered 36 months, 0% financing for brand new windows. They can still come to your house and hook you up, whether you need a new roof, new siding, new soffit fascia, gutters, downspouts. If you want to put in a skylight or one of those sun tunnels, which are really badass, this is something that you can do through Ireland Contracting. We adore them. They are fantastic, and they stand by the work they do. I love that. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. They are great. That's what I can tell you. It's through this, not this.
This might be. These are all that way.
Yes. So it's only me who hears it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Because I don't have it up.
Okay, that's fine. I can deal with that as long as you guys aren't being, you know. It's all right. It's all right. Go. It's terrible. It's so freaking terrible. I'm like, ah! Thank God I don't hear it all the time. I go nuts. Anyway, we got 12-1 watching. It's great to be with you guys. We only have 2,500 rumbles. If you guys could hop on over, bounce on over, and hit that thumbs up underneath the video box.
Is it going to bother you if I check something when you start?
I don't know.
I'll check it.
It is what it is.
I'll check it during the open.
Anyway, if you can hit that thumbs up, we would love to hit that 3,000 mark here at the very bottom of this half hour. I don't know why we wouldn't be able to, because you guys are killing it. But that's so important to us, and we appreciate all of this. Thank you. The buzz is back. Yeah, I know you guys can hear it, but hopefully when we're on the air, you can't. So, terrible.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell. Inspiring solutions to save America, one show at a time. Are you ready to get on board?
They believe that they can destroy this bond that exists between you and Trump if they somehow make Trump look bad, make Trump look like a reprobate, embarrass you about Trump. They can't do it because you came before Trump. Desperately want Trump gone, and I know that they desperately want it codified, that Trump cannot run again, because make no mistake, they remain scared to death of you, and they remain scared to death of Trump. Trump, 75 million, 80 million votes. And I'm going to tell you, you're not going anywhere. Even if Trump does, you're not. Which I think remains one of our big campaign strengths going forward. They can't separate you from Trump. And more importantly, they can't separate you from the ideas. They can't separate you from MAGA. They can't separate you from Make America Great Again.
From sea to shining sea, 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. The Wendy Bell Radio Program.
Hey, welcome back. Hour 2 of the Wendy Bell Radio Program. If you're just joining in, tuning in on Newsmax, remember we're all live 3 hours a day. Check us out, Wendy Bell Radio Network app. Also, our podcast, Wendy Bell Radio, wherever you get your favorite listening stuff. I think you're going to like us. I think you're going to want to take us with you wherever you go. And thank you. Thanks for being a part of this. We appreciate you. You know, I freely admit I have not always been a lover of guns. They're scary. When you don't grow up with guns, you grow up thinking guns are bad. Guns kill people. And your natural aversion to dying or to violence puts you in kind of an ignorant category that if we just got rid of all guns, we'd be better off. Well, it's an idiotic premise, and anybody who thinks that that's what's going to happen when you have like 600 million guns in America is fooling themselves, because the people who will never give them up are the ones who we need to give them up because they're criminals. Criminals don't go to the gun store. They don't go for a background check. They don't pay out of pocket. They break into our homes, they find our things, they steal them, and then they go out and they use them. And any politician running for office who suggests otherwise needs to be summarily dispatched to the, dustbin of politics. How about this headline? FBI figures show crime fell as Americans stocked up on guns in 2023. Get out of town. Really? So you're telling me that even though we have this flood of humanity, millions upon millions of people, God knows from where, whatever they are, whatever they do, even with all of the criminal activity that many of these people have brought with them, even with a dearth now in some communities of police officers, because cops are done being punched, kicked, demonized, accused, scrutinized, armchair quarterbacked. And so they're like, screw this, I'm out. Even with more people here, fewer cops on the job, you mean to tell me that crime fell in 2023? Now, I'm no rocket scientist, but I do have common sense. And it seems to me that the more of us walking around with the potential to be concealed carrying might dissuade someone with criminal intent from doing something criminal. That's just me. FBI figures reported by NBC News March 19th, this would be yesterday, show that crime fell during 2023, a year in which there were over 1 million background checks every month for gun purchases. 1 million a month. Huh. On July 4th, 2023, the Washington Examiner noted National Instant Criminal Background Check System checks for gun purchases have been over 1 million a month for 47 straight months. So add on another 10. On March 19th, 2024, Breitbart News spoke with National Shooting Sports Foundation's Mark Oliva, who says it's now been 55 consecutive months of 1 million plus background checks. This means leading up to the 2023 and throughout 2023, Americans were pouring into gun stores to acquire firearms. Yet, how is it possible? Fourth quarter numbers reported by NBC News showed a 13% decline in murder in 2023 from 2022, a 6% decline in reported violent crime, and a 4% decline in reported property crime. Because the idea of you trying to kick in my back door and not getting shot and killed is, right? We all know what's going on. Oh, try us. I think maybe there's some element of that being heard on the street. Former CIA analyst Jeff Asher commented on the lower crime figures, saying it suggests that when we get the final data in October, coming up several months away, we will have likely seen the largest one-year decline in murder that has ever been recorded. Now, and I've said this, you can stand there and be afraid of guns all you want. You can think that they're the worst thing in the world and they kill people. No gun has ever killed anybody in the history of firearms. They don't fire themselves. There's always someone behind the trigger. And that's not the story they want to talk about. I think it's hilarious that NBC News is forced to cover this, right? Because you're one of those right-wing, gun-loving wackos who's making everybody unsafe. No, you're protecting you, your people, your family, your castle. And if you're carrying out and about and you see some shizzle going down and you're armed and you're trained and people out there don't know who's armed and who's trained in the crowd, that's rolling some dice. This is the headline, NBC News. The U.S. crime rate is still dropping, FBI data shows. Of course, I'm sure Joe Biden will swoop in here and try to tell us it's because of his policies and all of that, which we know is idiotic. Well, why does the public still think that crime is going up? There's definitely more disorder in cities than there was 5 years ago, says one expert. People confuse disorder and crime. So what we're hearing is guns make great deterrents. Really? So weird. New FBI data confirms previous indications. This is the NBC story. Crime in the U.S. declined significantly in 2023, continuing a post-pandemic trend and belying widespread perceptions that crime is rising. Now, I wish they would just call a spade a spade. It kind of seems like an armed electorate is a safer electorate. It kind of seems like if more people take the matters of safety into their own hands, criminals get the message. Sort of like if you were to fire a rubber bullet, the way they fired, Capitol Police did on January 6th protesters. If you were to fire a rubber round at people who were looting, rioting, causing unrest, would that, yes or no, have a deterring effect on that behavior? Bing, 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 bing. I'm going to go with yes. Because they hurt. They might not kill you, but they hurt like a son of a mother. Might that be enough to dissuade people? Of course. Remember when Donald Trump was accused of saying, well, can't we shoot protesters in the legs? And of course, that was something that was hearsay that Mark Esper remembered years after he served in Trump's administration, when he was on the cusp of writing his New York Times best-selling book, right? Why can't we just shoot him in the legs? Standing up and pushing back and protecting your business and protecting your family has consequences. And it sends a message to the rest of the world. You want to try us? Good luck. Good luck. I bet any person who is not a fan of firearms, who believes all of the rhetoric about them, that they're killing all of these people, they have to be taken out of our homes and our hands. If they were in a situation ever where there was an active shooter in an environment in which they could not escape, they would breathe the biggest sigh of relief if one of these oath keepers were nearby, armed, trained, and not fooling around. So, what is our perception of crime? Well, we see it. It's on our news feeds. You watch what's going on. This is what we see in our communities. But curiously, this uptick and this steady 1 million background checks every single month for 55 consecutive months indicates that Americans do not feel safe, that Americans are done with being bullied, that Americans do not believe their government is going to come and protect them. In fact, 1 million background checks a month means you have an American citizenry that doesn't trust its government. And that is a warning shot to the Biden administration. You are not trusted. And the people are prepared should you make a very bad decision in the months ahead. Now, as this is being spoken of, these dropping crime rates, increasing gun buys, Peter Navarro yesterday turned himself in Miami to serve a 4-month prison sentence. Why ever would that be? Well, let's go there for a little bit. Let's hear from him as you hear what it sounds like to be a political prisoner of a tyrannical administration. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. See, NBC's not going to connect the dots. They're not going to say, maybe if more people had guns and fewer people would commit crimes. It's off now. See, NBC's not going to connect the dots. They're not going to. I want to tell you quickly about.
So the buzzing is still going on for you, correct?
No.
Son of a bitch.
Let me tell you about Bioptimizer's magnesium breakthrough. I thought I was smart enough to bring it in. Alas, I was not. It is my go-to supplement. And by the way, I just started drinking that Cert juice that we're going to talk about later. I got to tell you, it's freaking delicious. I'm going to take a quick swig. So Bioptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough. I had no idea that magnesium played such a big role in our ability to get restful sleep. Did you guys know that 35% of adults polled say that they do not sleep sufficiently well enough? That they don't stay asleep, they don't get enough sleep, that they don't wake up and feel rested, that they walk around feeling like a zombie? I get it. 100% get it. Magnesium Breakthrough by Bioptimizers. Please get it. Go get it. 7 different kinds of magnesium. I pop 1 capsule every day. When it's time for me to go to bed, I'm out. I'm out through the night. If I've got to get up, I get up. I go to the bathroom, whatever I got to do. Come back, fall asleep. Out. Wake up. I never get enough sleep. Come on. I'm a mom. You guys too, right? Wake up and I'm 100% on. There's no like, ugh. I'm like, boom, let's go. Bioptimizers. So good. Let me give you all of the situation here. You're going to get 10% off if you go to magbreakthrough.com. Magbreakthrough.com. Use my name, last name Bell, and you'll get 10% off. It's like $35 for a thing of capsules. It's nothing. Nothing. I'll pay $1 a month to sleep through the night. Or $1 a day. You kidding me? 10% off. Magnesium Breakthrough, magbreakthrough.com.
I pulled the one and cleaned the head of the one. So maybe that was it.
I don't know. Brock is magic. Kind of like the magic tan I just gave myself. Did it work?
I do appreciate you guys saying when there's something wrong. I do. Please don't take this the wrong way.
Don't say it then. Because it's not going to work.
No, I just have to go through so many things. Mm-hmm. And I've got to start with the dumbest thing. You know, so it's moving along of trying different things.
Guys, 2.81. We need 190 rumbles to get to that 3,000 point. And we have 6 minutes to do it. Can you help me out? Maybe. I'd love it. Love, love, love it. That little thumbs up. Love it if you would hit that. Thank you so much.
I also hate when I do multiple things at one time because then I don't know what it was.
It sounds like a you problem. I'm deeply appreciative of your work.
I'm just going to be quiet.
I am. I don't have to think about these things. It's not my wheelhouse. I stay in my lane. Stay in my lane. With my lane assist on going.
I had to fix that too.
You did. I know. I gave you props. You know, isn't it so gross when you see what is going on? The hunt for January 6 political hostages, trying to dredge up anything to keep that High School Musical storyline alive. Fan the flames of the smoke screen so you get it in your eye and you don't see. No, I'm sure 2020 was perfectly safe and secure, right? And then you're like, but why would they throw so many people in prison? It just seems so odd. No, it's not. It's logical. You understand. You know the game. It's gross. They're playing it. And then they try to tell you, do not vote for Donald Trump. Do not vote for MAGA. These people are dangerous. They tried to overthrow the government. My friends, if people on January 6th wanted to overthrow the government, they would have done it. That wasn't the point. And everybody knows it. So then we go to this Peter Navarro, right? What did he do? What did this guy do that was so egregious that he should be sentenced? For the first time. This is the first time in that I can think of This is an historic contempt prosecution where Joe Biden is quite literally throwing his political opponents in jail. So don't worry about the threats to democracy. The democracy has been threatened for a long time, if we even have it. So he's a former Trump aide, begins serving his prison sentence after this historic contempt prosecution. And he had to go to a federal prison yesterday in Miami, and he had to surrender. What did he do? Did he pull a fire alarm and stall an official proceeding of Congress? No, that was Jamal Bowman. He didn't have to do anything for that. Peter Navarro just decided he wasn't going to play in the reindeer games of the January 6th Committee of SOC. He said, I'm not going to come and I'm not going to be trotted out as part of this ridiculous performance. And he said, President Trump encouraged me at the time, do not comply because of presidential immunity. What did they want to get from him? Before he reported to jail, he spoke for about 30 minutes at a gas station. He called the case against him an unprecedented assault on the constitutional separation of powers. I mean, think about how tenuous so much of the basic tenets of our constitutional republic that our founding fathers hundreds of years ago, with the foresight and the knowledge. I mean, think about the Bill of Rights 233 years ago. The founding fathers, James Madison, had the foresight to see tyranny, greed, avarice, ego, scumbaggery. Enough, in fact, to put it in the framework of the Bill of Rights that you and I have certain rights that cannot be trampled, not by the government, not by anybody. I want you to hear Peter Navarro before surrendering yesterday. It's only about 20 seconds, but this is where we are when a president and White House weaponizes against a political opponent, Donald Trump, or people who are loyal to him. Peter Navarro, here he is.
When I walk in that prison today, the justice system, such as it is, will have done a crippling blow to the constitutional separation of powers and executive privilege. Every person who has taken me on this road to that prison is a friggin' Democrat and a Trump hater.
Think about that. Sometimes I think, can you imagine if the establishment, if the Marxist, progressive, communist, socialists, leftists of SOC, and the rhino lackeys who've been sucked into their vortex and go along with it, if just every now and again they cared about you, if just every now and again they lived up to the lapel pins that they're all so eager to put on, ostensibly of their congressional seal or the American flag. Can you imagine if these people truly loved this country? If they were invested to their fiber in making it the greatest place on planet Earth? Or if even just for a moment, they would stop their obsession, their addiction, their compulsion to hate. When we come back on the Wendy Bell Radio program, let's talk about this. Republican Party, we're getting into this situation. Got to choose sides. Are you MAGA or are you establishment? Let's go there next. All right, I will freely admit to you that I was not aware at all of the CERT food diet. And it wasn't until I got this canister, it's called CERT Life, Ultimate CERT Juice, that I started looking at this and being like, what the hell is this stuff? Sounds kind of interesting. And some well-known people maintain that they have gotten into the finest physical shape of their lives when using this in addition to watching what they eat and exercising. And what does it say on it? It says it's got kale. It's got some things I don't even know how to pronounce. Black currant, turmeric, moringa, matcha, right? And it's just a scoop. And I put it in here. And it's weird because it's green. Stuff is green. And yet when I put it in here, it turns red and it tastes good. So what is getcert.com/Wendy? Why is this something that you might find interesting? Well, these two international best-selling authors, they created this CERT food diet. They decided they have this new, even more incredible way for you to get these potent CERT foods. These are specific foods you should be adding to your diet that help stimulate weight loss, that help do things that are, after the age of 50, I'm just going to say, important. Ultimate CERT Juice is designed to help you lose weight. It's designed to help support your overall health and give you more energy to do the things you love to do. So I've started drinking it, and I'm going to drink it every day, and I'm going to report back to you. And if you want to join me on this endeavor, I got $20 off. Beg your pardon. $20 off. GetCert.com/Wendy. GetCert.com/Wendy. Exclusive discount. And if you go to GetCert.com/Wendy, you're also going to see a video. They're going to tell you what it's all about. I think it's delicious. And the turmeric is a big thing for me because that's huge for inflammation. And because I did 101 push-ups today, I need it. Brock, I think you would like it. Are you ignoring me?
No.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Let's see what it has. Kale, green tea, black currant extract, something I can't pronounce, another thing I can't pronounce.
You're not getting it in your
Lemon,
earphones anymore.
Celery, olive oil, turmeric, ginger root. Ooh, I like this. You guys, mix 1 scoop per day with 8 fluid ounces of water. Watch for the color transformation of the powder as it shifts from green to deep red, and enjoy.
No, we have not hit 3K yet.
I know, you guys, I'm very disappointed.
Well,
I got 10. Got 10 people? Got 10 people. We need 3,000. 10 people to hit the button. Please. Ready? Come on. You're killing me.
Someone, Pack Wendy says some had it on other channels. Maybe it's Rumble, not you. And that's usually not the case because here's what we do that's different. So we have to have a feed that goes to just you guys, and we have a feed that goes to the radio station. So when it was buzzing for you guys, it was not buzzing at all for the radio stations. So that means the connections have to be between the computer and the headphones.
Yes. I follow you.
So this is why it's just not as easy as just saying it's buzzing. Well, I have to check the radio side to see if it's buzzing on the radio side, because that would be a board issue, which is there's nothing I can do during the show for the board issue. So when it's not the radio side and just the Rumble side, now it's a completely different issue. So that means it's a computer issue with just a certain set of things and whatever. It's just very frustrating. It's very frustrating. I'm glad you get joy out of this.
I'm not getting joy at all. I'm merely...
You've got that stupid look on your face.
No, I am listening to you respectfully and responsibly. I'm encouraging you as you work through your issues professionally. I believe you can do it.
Oh, that keeps me going. It's just frustrating not to. And when you try to do everything at once and it works, now you don't know what it was. So I'm going to have to probably get something to clean all the heads of all the inputs. Because the iRig is 4 years old, 5 years old. So it just might be a loose connection inside the actual iRig. So it might need a new iRig.
Should we have extra supplies? That is very pleasing.
The
This is
cert?
very pleasing.
Oh.
It has a delicious flavor. I think you're going to like it. Let's do it together.
Don't tell me what to do.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh.
You've already mocked me. Whatever.
I mock you all day long.
I'm broke. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I think that this whole awakening, it's across America, but I think primarily in the Republican Party, is very encouraging. I ebb and flow with enthusiasm and optimism. Inherently, I'm a very optimistic person. Practically, though, when I see what's going on and I absorb it and I drag it along with me, it can be overwhelming. But I have tremendous faith in North is still North. I have tremendous faith that it's not just a Harlequin romance or a movie where good beats out evil, where you can get the girl, where the pot of gold does exist. I believe all of that. It's just hard sometimes to trudge through this. And it can feel daunting when you look at the Republican Party and you consider how many people Donald Trump, as a political outsider in 2016, starting his administration in January of 2017, how much of an outsider he was and had to rely on people who've been in the business for a long time. It's a dirty, dirty business. It's gross. I've had people say to me, have you ever considered running for office? I'm like, are you out of your mind? For me, honestly, to see how dirty it really is would be spirit crushing. But Donald Trump found himself in this position, and he, I would imagine, did the best he could to surround himself with the right kind of people. I guarantee you he would take back Bill Barr. I guarantee you he would take back Chris Wray. I would imagine he would consider taking back Mike Pence, but he had to, as an outsider, he had to learn real fast, and that he was still able to do the things that he did, is still able to travel the world and have meaningful relationships with countries across the planet. To broker Middle East peace accords, to have 4 years where there was no war, where none of our sons and daughters died. Triumphant. But we've come to this critical juncture where the Republican Party has to figure out what's going on. And there is a fracturing. And the one that is moving forward is MAGA. It's the men and the women and the fighters and the patriots who believe in American exceptionalism, who believe in American greatness and believe that it is our destiny. It is our duty to strive for that. That just business as usual doesn't cut it. And then you have your establishment group. And they've gone along like the beach ball for too long. And we are breaking up with those people. You are watching it. We watched it in the speaker's race when Kevin McCarthy needed 15 votes to get across the finish line because Matt Gaetz and company needed and demanded particular action and safeguards. And then he ended up drifting away. We've seen it all over. Now, a Washington Post article I read this morning kind of was intriguing to me because this is intended as a hit piece, but everything that we see moving forward identifies, specifically with congressional votes as well, identifies where on the spectrum of Republicanism, if you will, our elected representatives are. You're either for status quo, you're for cooperating with the Democrats who are not worthy of cooperation. Their priorities are not our priorities. Anybody who doesn't vote yes on the Laken-Riley Act is not my cup of tea. All of these things are showing us and separating the real, strong, fighting faction of the Republican Party and the stagnant kind of suck. So here's your headline, Washington Post. Pence's refusal to back Trump points to a larger problem. I'm going to disagree 100%. I think that's fantastic. These people are showing you their true colors. Mike Pence, who's like gal who was his, I don't know, office manager or whatever she was for him, is Adam Kinzinger's wife. That's all you need to know. Republican office holders are overwhelmingly in Trump's camp. Those who served most closely with him, much less so. And this whole conversation was spurred by the idea of who would you see in Donald Trump's cabinet? Who would you see? Brock, what were some of the names that were being kicked around? Vivek Ramaswamy was being considered for...
Mike Lee for AG, Ted Cruz for AG, Byron Donalds, Tulsi Gabbard
for VP. So we're seeing some names coming out, and these are names that we like. But it's interesting. In all of this stuff that is going on out there with Donald Trump, we got this very interesting interview, and we found it online at Wall Street Week. And the person who's doing the talking, his name is Scott Bessent. He is the founder of Key Square Capital. And the host of the program, David Weston, and this other gal, they're talking to him about what was a private conversation, ostensibly with Donald Trump, about where he is. Would Scott Bessent, as the founder of Key Square Capital, would he be willing to be perhaps in Trump's inner orbit? Would he join his cabinet? Would he have some financial role in a Donald Trump administration? And while he won't say yes or no, he does reveal some very interesting inside information about where Trump's mind is moving forward with all of this stuff, bogging him down, $500 million. He's trying to present his bond, which is so stupid, so he can appeal his New York case of suck with the E. Jean Carroll nonsense, another $90 million. It's so preposterous. As he's getting punished royally because they want to bankrupt him, anything they can do to tarnish Donald Trump, he wants to do something very specific. Here is Scott Bessent, the founder of Key Square Capital, on Wall Street Week with the host David Weston. Listen.
President Trump is laser focused on the size of the national debt, on the amount that it's increased under Biden, and the size of the deficits. And I think you will hear from him in the coming months his plan or his wishes to bring both of those down.
He's laser focused on the national debt. What are you going to do about it? He's got plans in work. He's got plans at work, ladies and gentlemen. That is what this gentleman is saying. And the host, David Weston, says, how can he do that? How can he bring down the deficit? He likes to cut taxes. He likes interest rates to be low. He likes the cost of fuel, gas to be low. And he likes to tax imports into this country. How does that equal bringing things down financially? Listen.
Okay, so if we just isolate the debt, is the Trump tax cuts could be reinstalled in 2025. Right. So that wouldn't be inflationary, just be a continuation of current policies. And I think it's going to be around spending and growth. And I think the president said publicly he'd like to see oil prices down. He'd like to see deregulation, which would help the economy. So, I think we could see higher real growth, maybe the spending levels being frozen, not cut, frozen, and then, a productivity pickup from lower U.S. domestic production.
But tariffs are inflationary. That's what economists tell us.
Right. But they could be good for the budget.
Could be good for the budget. Look, when Donald Trump's tax cuts expire in 2025, you guys think that you're paying a lot now? Holy cow. This is cataclysmically giant about the future of this country. So look, when Donald Trump's defense secretaries, both of them, warn, according to the Washington Post, that in no uncertain terms that Donald Trump is dangerous, with one recently calling him a threat to democracy and one of his attorneys general calling the criminal evidence against him damning and warning that he would abuse his power, and a chief of staff who keeps confirming the ugliest anonymously sourced reports about Donald Trump. And now his former vice president, Mike Pence, says he couldn't possibly endorse him. This tells you everything you need to know. This is as good as the Liberty Score on Conservative Review. It's in black and white. You're seeing the fissuring, the fracturing, the separation of two different kinds of Republicans. There is one that is going to proceed, and it's going to march forward, and it is going to succeed. And there is one that is going to die, and it needs to. It is the Ronna McDaniel, John McCain, Mitt Romney, Lisa Murkowski branch of Rhino. And it's beautiful. And it's uncertain, and it feels uncomfortable, and it's weird. Because right now, you and I are raising a generation of children who have no prayer of realizing the American dream. They have no prayer of buying a house. Do you know that in order to pay for a house today, our children, with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 7.3%, our children need 80% more income in order to realize that dream. And while all of these stories are going on out there, dragging Trump and company through the mud, putting Peter Navarro in prison, hunting down January 6th attendees as though they're a danger in some capacity, Donald Trump is focused, laserly focused, on righting what is so wrong. Now, Republicans, you're either in or you're out. And if you're out, move aside, because you will not be saved. When we come back on the Wendy Bell Radio program, I want to talk to you about this, the Lib of the Week. We don't normally play it here. We are going to play it here. And it is so worth it. Do not miss this. Next. Why wouldn't you endorse fiscal responsibility, Mike Pence? Your butt hurt because you had dreams of being a star someday. Well, you have no charisma, my man.
Well,
you're like my rice cake.
It goes to show also that he's a straight up liar. He raised his hand. Nikki Haley raised her hand. So what did they just tell you? I will lie straight to your face.
100%.
Donald Trump never raised his hand. Why am I going to support this? He's the only one that's been honest with you.
100%.
Screw them all.
I agree. Before treatment, I had difficulty walking. I want you guys to wrap your mind around somebody who suffered a traumatic brain injury. Can you imagine you're fine and then boom, you're not? That's it. And you're trying to figure out, how do I put the pieces back of this puzzle of my life that has been so blown apart? You need an expert. And that is why we love talking about Dr. Charles Simkovich at the Simkovich Concussion Institute. It's off the charts treatment protocol, this intensive concussion protocol. It's get you in, get you fixed fast. Appreciate it. Before treatment, this is Nicole writing this. Before treatment, I had difficulty walking. I used a wheelchair for a few months. My muscles were giving out on me. I was having non-epileptic seizures. I had a brain fog so bad I couldn't even work. The doctors told me that nothing was wrong with my body, that I needed to go to psych for treatment. Can you imagine being told, to go see a psychologist because there's something obviously wrong with you? Yeah, I know. I got concussed, you schmuck. Well, I don't know what to do. Thank God the Simkovich Concussion Institute did. After visiting Dr. Simkovich, I was able to not only walk more, but also work again. I've walked farther than I have in a long time, and the brain fog is hardly noticeable anymore. Thank you, Dr. Simkovich, for improving my quality of life and getting me to the point where I can take my life back. The staff here is so kind. I'd highly suggest it if you're having cognitive issues. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. 412-366-3700. 412-366-3700.
Your ears are still good?
They are. Thank you.
I ordered another.
iRig, did you use my thing?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Use the corporate card. Since I didn't get a chair. Oh, I love this. Oh, let's see how he looks. Is he angry? No.
I'm not angry.
We have
payback as a biatch. Is all I'm gonna say.
We have debates about this.
Just remember that. I want you to fully remember what you've done.
If you're new to the program, here at the Wendy Bell Radio Network, we believe that we can poke good fun at liberals who just are melting down. And it's kind of funny. It was sort of like I was incredulous after Hillary Clinton lost in 2016. I was incredulous watching the people in the crowd who started crying. Like, I never voted for Barack Obama. I think he's a lousy human being. I think he was a terrible president. I think he did more to divide this country. He did more to set back race relationships in this country. He was tragic. One of the worst presidents in U.S. history was Barack Obama. But when I saw these people crying after Hillary Clinton, who also is the queen of epic suck, period, crying beside themselves. I have family members who called off work the next couple days because they couldn't wrap their mind around Donald Trump being the new president. I was like, what? What happens to people? So we decided to do something fun on this program called Lib of the Week. And there are lots of entries. In fact, many of you play in this game. It is funny, but it's not. It's actually really, really sad. And we've stopped laughing at it because there are people who are woefully, woefully deranged. I don't know why. This one woman, this is a typical college. I'm going to go with what? What are you saying?
We're not playing the open?
We will play the open. I'm setting it up. This particular woman is your traditional white college educated liberal hack. And she thinks that she knows what's going down with Republicans. She knows what MAGA is all about. So without further ado.
Time now for the Wendy Bell radio programs.
Oh, love me, love me, love me. I'm a liberal.
Liberal of the Week.
We got to play her for you because she knows what's going on in the minds of all of you people out there. Those of you who believe in making America great again, she's got your diagnosis. Listen.
People on the left are very confused about how Trump can say things like there's going to be a bloodbath if I don't get elected and get away with that, right? And how can his supporters continue to support him? It's very, very simple, actually. And the reason that you can't understand is because your brain operates differently than that type of brain. People with authoritarian brains want a class system. They want a hierarchical structure. It makes them feel safe. They like supremacy. They like rules. They like things like patriarchy. It gives everyone a very specific role, and if you step outside of that, they can punish you. That type of brain feels safe in that environment. They want a dictator. You guys keep saying you're screaming at them like, hey, don't you see what's going on? Yes, they see it and they like it. It feels safe to them. It's what they want. They want to punish you, by the way. You have stepped out of line with the way that they see the world. You should be punished according to them. If you are a woman who isn't married and has a job, or if you're a member of the LGBT community, or if you're an immigrant, or basically if you're anything other than a white married Christian person, you should be illegal as far as they're concerned. For them, what Trump is saying and doing helps them breathe this big, deep sigh of relief because they want the return to a world that they understand. They do not like the direction that the world is headed in. So saying to them over and over again, don't you see what's happening, isn't going to help. They do not operate in the same framework that you do. Yes, they see it, and this is what they want.
Wow. Now it's curious that her face doesn't move. I don't know. It's weird. I've never said the word patriarchy in a sentence, I don't think, unless I'm reading somebody saying it. How many of you drop those lines? They like a caste system. Who says that? Who says that? What are we going back to feudal times? Sister, they want a patriarchy. How many of you could even define that? You know what I want? I think it's easy. I'm going to make it easy for these people. I want safe borders, secure borders. I want to be able to go to the grocery store and not feel like I'm getting... My husband went to get some bok choy the other day. You guys ever had bok choy? Big, green, leafy, white stalk. You separate the green from the white, saute it in some garlic, a little bit of soy sauce. It's delicious. He didn't look at the price. Can I tell you what it cost? $24. It cost $24. And he wasn't paying attention. He just put his card in and he got home and he looked at the receipt and he goes, oh my gosh, you'll have no... I'm like, can we go back and give them their freaking bok choy back? As much as I like to eat a little Asian food every now and again, it's something that you would find in Asian cooking. I'm not going to spend 20 odd bucks to have some leafy greens in my gut. What are we doing? We want our kids to be taught by the best teachers around, where they're encouraged to dream audaciously and to achieve. We want taxes to be low so that we can squirrel away and spend our money and stimulate the economy, right? We want our streets to be neat, clean, our neighborhoods to be safe. We want people who break the law to be held to account. We want normalcy back. We want the government out of our lives. We want to do what we want to do. And we don't just want it for us. We want it for wackos like that. That's the kick in the pants. She thinks she knows. She has no idea. She's going to be left behind. That's a fact. Coming up, hour number 3. My goodness, you guys are making this go fast. The power of propaganda. It's the perfect lead into this. Fear to many people is a disease, particularly on the left. Why are they so dang susceptible to it? Why fall for it again and again when you can choose joy? Oh my. A new study that has something to do with COVID and the left. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. My wrists are on fire.
You want the chair that looks just like the one you have?
I don't want anything. And if you bought
Oh,
it,
no.
I'm not getting. I don't want it.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
No. Just because you got butthurt because you broke my chair and I called you out on it. This is a great opportunity for me to tell you guys about Patriot Switch.
I used their seasons yesterday.
I really, really like this drink. Wow. Maybe it'll help with the zhuzh. That's what I'm hoping for. I'll keep you posted. Yes, Brock was just talking about Riverbend Ranch grillers seasonings. So look, in an alternate economy, one in which the government doesn't decide everything and force farmers to inject their meat with hormones and antibiotics or to spray a bunch of jazz that sucks on their crops, you have the ability to buy from independent people who make the best quality foods. When I started working with Patriot Switch, I was amazed when they dropped the Riverbend Ranch side of the business on us. I was like, wait a minute. You guys have invested in hundreds of thousands of acres of fertile, fantastic farmland, and you've purchased the highest quality cattle at auction that you are raising and you are breeding and you are making available to us without hormones and antibiotics. Yeah. It's called Riverbend Ranch. And you don't even have to be a member of Patriot Switch to get access to Riverbend Ranch, but you do have to go to patriotswitch.com/Wendy and you put in some information about you. It's your email address, it's your phone number, and then somebody gets in touch with you who's affiliated through me. And they say, yes, what can we do for you? How can we interest you in our club that is about buying American? It's about buying quality stuff. It's about no chemicals. It's about health and wellness. It's about getting the highest quality things in your home. And you say, I'd love to learn about Riverbend Ranch. And they'll tell you all about it. And you can sign up, subscription, sent to your door every month, every 2 months. You decide, do you want ribeyes? Do you want filet? Do you like strips? And it'll come to you and you will be joyful. patriotswitch.com/Wendy. It's so good. Let's see. Did we get our 3? Yes. 3.22. Now, I'm not stupid enough to think that we're going to move along with that. I know we're not going to get 780 people, even though presently we have 12,400 watching.
And
to mosey
almost 1,700 on X.
To mosey on over and rumble for us. Though it is very easy. It's free. We do wake up at 2:30 or 3 in the morning to put this together.
I woke up at 2:57.
I
was so disappointed.
I almost texted you right at that moment, but I wanted you to be able to be annoyed by your alarm rather than my text. I don't sleep with the phone next to me. Someone does. For good reason.
Thank you.
I understand why.
I mean, I would hate to miss your call.
You would hate to see here. You can't see. Used to be able to go backwards. Now there's a hitch. So I have to sit very erect, which isn't always comfortable. Don't even try to do that. Don't do this.
What are you talking about?
I know what that's all about, yo. I'm on to you.
Asking a lot from a drink.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Go ahead, flex.
Uh-huh. Let's see you do a push-up.
Wow.
Let's see you do a push-up. We going? Let's see it.
No, not if you're putting it on camera.
Go. I'll see. Go. I won't do it. Go ahead.
You lie like a rug.
I won't do it. Go ahead.
I'm not going to let you lie to me.
Okay.
I'm not going to let you lie to me.
I was crossing my fingers.
Yeah,
Why won't you
right.
do one push-up? Nobody will be able to see it. Let's go, muscles. You have the ability to break my chair with one kick of your leg. You should be able to get down and do a couple at least.
Your nose is next.
Come on. It's all right. Don't hate me because I'm buff.
Oh my goodness.
Is that a no? Is that a no, lovey?
I'm not going to let you dictate what I do or do not do.
Oh, really? I almost browbeat you into buying me a chair. So I'm pretty persuasive.
I'm going to buy that effing chair.
I don't want a chair. I don't want a chair from you.
And I'm going to throw it at you, is what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our HR department's brought to you by Pfizer.
Mm-hmm.
I have no control in HR. I'm a man in a boat without an oar.
I'm very excited by this one story here. Ooh, that one's bad.
Gary says he can beat me at golf.
You could probably beat me at anything. Brock's a pretty good golfer.
Brock doesn't get to play much.
Brock can golf in the 80s. I've broken 100 like once. But I'm really fun to be with. Noted, considering golf season is upon us and one of us belongs to a club.
I would. I would. Is you still? Because I didn't.
One of us belongs to a club.
A club. Well, I wouldn't know. I didn't see the club last year. I thought you quit.
You had a seizure and crashed your car. And so you weren't out and about much. No. And I did not take you golfing. And I didn't go golfing without you. So suck it. And there's that. How you doing?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Warning. You're about to experience an unpleasant truth.
America must choose to build a future or obsess about the past, to be a nation of fear, division, and of darkness.
Use your aggressive feeling.
Embrace anger, chaos, and truth, but in the shadow of lies.
Let the hate flow through you.
Together we can choose a different path.
Together we can rule the galaxy.
We're a nation of fear, division, and of darkness.
Break me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete.
Embrace anger. Thrive on chaos, but in the shadow of lies.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea. 3 hours of bold truth, excellence, and optimism for America. The Wendy Bell Radio Program.
Well, the Wendy Bell Radio Program continues, now entering hour number 3. Welcome to each of you. Delighted to spend time with you today. The power of propaganda. You know, we talked to you earlier in the week about President Obama in 2012 and Congress making some tweaks to this Smith-Mundt Act, which basically opened the door to government-sponsored propaganda being able to flood in through our TV sets. And it's gotten much worse since then. In fact, most of what we hear and see when we open the newspaper, we go on to television, I don't even know who does anymore, I really don't, is propaganda. It is government-sponsored propaganda. I mean, only in that kind of an environment can 95% of the stories about Donald Trump be negative during his presidency. I mean, that's just cataclysmically disgusting. But there's something that is unusual about certain kinds of people that makes them more susceptible to propaganda, more pliable, more malleable, connable, whatever it is, winnable. They are more easily frightened. And they almost need something to fear, to hate, to rail against for purpose. I don't understand it, because we're seeing this wonderful awakening in the Black community. And it started first with the Black men, Black working men, not college grads, dudes out on the job, doing what they got to do, raising the money for their families, doing their life. And they started leaning towards Donald Trump. And that started in 2020. It really did. And it's gotten stronger. Now you have the harder nut to crack, which is the Black woman who realizes and has felt it for 3 years the way I did with the stupid bok choy. That was $20 for 2 stupid heads of it. That it is not financially feasible to live today the way she did 4 years ago. And so you're seeing this peeling off, this abandoning of the Democratic Party in favor of conservative values, lower taxes, lower gas prices, lower interest rates, more in their pockets. But there is a faction left behind that is almost unbudgeable. This is the part that says 83% of Democrats who believe that Joe Biden is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Really? So when Gallup put this out, which I thought was fascinating, so many psychological questions that gurgled out of COVID. Why are some people still scared? Why are some people still walking around wearing masks? Danger. They feel like other people present a danger to them. They feel threatened. What is it in that mind? And why is it exclusively liberal? I don't get it. Don't. Gallup shares a little bit that might crack the door for us. And I want to read this to you. Here it is, news.gallup.com. After 4 years, headline says, 59% in the U.S. say COVID-19 pandemic is over. Why would that not be 100%? Are you guys in fear that you're going to get the flu again and it's going to do you in? Because more than 4 in 10 do not expect their lives to return to pre-pandemic normalcy. That's just scary. 4 years after COVID-19 forced widespread shutdowns of businesses and schools across the U.S., 59% of Americans believe the pandemic is over. At the same time, about as many, 57%, report that their lives have not returned to normal, and 43% expect they never will. Now, I will say that I don't think we are living in a normal capacity at all, because we're living under Joe Biden's wacky view. It's not even his. Barack Obama, whomever the puppeteer is, the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, whomever is waving all of the wands back there and making the marionette called Joe Biden, who's a figment of himself, dance until these people are eradicated and excised from our political environment. I'm not so sure we are going to get back to normal, but there's difference. There's a difference between believing things aren't the same as they used to be and believing that you should be living in fear. That just seems wacky. National worry about contracting COVID-19 is near its lowest point in the trend dating back to the early days of the pandemic. Although, as has been the case throughout the pandemic, Democrats express much more concern about COVID-19 than Republicans do. The impact of the coronavirus on the public since emerging as a global threat in 2020 is evident in the finding that 7 in 10 U.S. adults report having had COVID-19 at least once. These findings are from a March 5th through 11th update to Gallup's probability-based COVID-19 web panel tracking poll, which began in March of 2020. Didn't know that. Good to know. Gallup has tracked Americans' perceptions of whether the pandemic is over in the U.S. since June of 2021, during the COVID-19 vaccine rollout when most Americans received their first shot. But it was not until late May, early June of last year that a majority thought it was actually over. This was shortly after President Joe Biden signed a congressional resolution to end the nation's state of emergency, and the U.S. and global policy public health emergency declarations ended. Fewer, though, still a slim 53% majority, continued to believe it had come to an end in late August, early September. The latest 59% of Americans who believe the pandemic is over is up slightly from late last summer, but it's still shy of the positivity expressed last May and June. Let's look at the people who say it's done. Of course, 79% of Republicans, almost twice as likely as Democrats, just at 41%. To say the pandemic is over, while 63% of independents agree. This is interesting to me because we can look at something that impacted all of us, our greatest generation, our children and us, our businesses, our economy, our schools, our everything. And we look at this and say, okay, it's over, right? Can we get back to living a normal life? 79% of Republicans say, yeah, it's over. Let's go. 41% of Democrats think that. Why the disparity? And when you look at 63% of independents, this gives me great hope because the independents skew way more towards the conservatives, the Republican side of this, than they do the liberal Democrat side. Majorities of Republicans have thought the pandemic is over since April 2022. And majorities of Democrats have said the same thing since last February. In contrast, only once in May and June of last year has a majority of Democrats agreed that the pandemic is over. I'm curious, what is it that so resonates predominantly in the brains of liberal Americans? We just played for you the lib of the week, the woman who thinks she's got it left and right. She understands MAGA. She believes that we're all about a caste system, some patriarchy, some only if you're white and you're married are you worth anything. And if you don't fit into those categories, that you should be considered illegal. Like, that's pathological. That's taught. That woman is a sponge. She is receiving the propaganda put out by the left. She is absorbing it. She is embedding it into the fiber of who she is and feels so strongly about it that she's going to go out and turn her phone on herself and click record and try to chastise other people for their belief systems, which of course she knows nothing about. What is it? I don't know. Americans' current reports of whether their lives have returned to pre-pandemic normalcy are kind of on par with last year. Currently, 43% of adults say their lives are completely back to normal. 57% say they are not. That 57% includes 14% who believe their lives will eventually become normal again, and 43% who believe that the pre-pandemic normalcy is gone forever. Can you imagine? Maybe this is why they're so angry. That they believe that it's never going to get back. It's never going to get better. It's never going to return. That this new normal is just the way it's going to be. They don't take responsibility. You are in charge. They have relinquished control. That is scary, my friends. That is what we're up against. Now, we're up against that, and we're up against this college-educated crowd coming out and getting jobs. I got to tell you, if you got a kid who wants to go into marketing, you might want to tap the brakes. And I'm going to tell you why next on the Wendy Bell Radio program.
It's nice to see the weather start to change. It's supposed to be 60 on Friday.
Oh, nice. I hear you, and I know what you're trying to do, you little crapper. So nice try, yo. How about this? When I read that 4 out of 5 of us, by the time we're in our senior golden years, will have some issue, actually just in our lifetime, I should say, with spinal related issues, I was like, please don't let that be me. But it is something that happens. Your discs that basically cushion your vertebrae and prevent you from getting pinched nerves and things like that, they begin to decay, they degenerate, they can slip, they can slide, they can stenose. None of this is good. And that equals pain for you. And I'm all about living as pain-free as I can for as long as I can without taking medicine to make it happen. This is why I love Dr. Richard Rafferty. I love his outside-the-box thinking when he created this intradisc neutrosis, this ability for your body and your discs in your spine to regenerate without surgery, because it happens. Body is beautiful, does amazing things. If you give it a shot and you partner with the right doc, and it's Dr. Richard Rafferty at the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh. It's called intradisc neutrosis. It's 98% successful. He is worthy of a second opinion. If you've been told you need spinal surgery, you might need it, but you might not. 412-906-9600. 412-906-9600. He's great. And he can help you. PittsburghDiscInstitute.com. Rock, I'm going to bring you this tomorrow. I think you're going to like it.
Can we get the 3.5 today? We're at 3.35.
150 people. I'd love to get you guys over there.
3.5 seems to be the number that gets us on the leaderboard.
Oh, that would be outstanding. If you haven't.
And when I say us, I mean everyone who clicks and listens.
Yeah, I did my Rumble this morning at like 6:30. So I'd love it if you could click on that for us.
Really? You clicked that early?
I did. So thank you for doing that. And some people are like, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, I wonder how many people are watching on your TV that don't know you can rumble on your TV now.
Oh, so please tell them how to do that.
You get the scrolling bar where you can see like at the bottom where you are in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And now on mine, I don't know if it's the same on all of them. Mine, there's a thumbs up and thumbs down on the right-hand side, which is nice to know. Like I make it a point to rumble for people when I watch their stuff. So like I would watch on my TV and like first I'd go to my phone and then all of a sudden one day I'm like, oh, I can rumble right here.
Brock is apparently more technologically advanced.
It was a big day for me.
I don't even know how to get it on my television. So
you have to download the Rumble app
onto your television.
If you have a smart TV.
I don't know if
you do.
TV. I do.
Yeah, you have apps on your TV, right? You have Amazon on your TV.
Yes, I do.
Okay, well then there you go. You have a smart TV. Wow. Follow along here. Baby
I'm
steps.
in my lane.
Baby steps here.
Look, you don't want me trampling all over your technology, do you? Really? How about I let you have a victory? Every now and again, you need to have a victory too.
Did you say let me?
Yes. I'll butter you up. 3.39. We need 110 people to hit that magic number. So the thumb up, that's huge. Oh boy. I hate that. I swear to God, I'll throat punch you. So I've been very open with you about our families waiting now on pins and needles to hear from these schools because my son Ryan, high school senior, he's waiting. And I'm sure it's nerve-wracking. And he's gotten some great victories. He's had some heartbreak. It is what it is. It's the process. But you got to scratch your head and be like, is any of this really worth it anymore? What are we really doing? Unless you're going to school for something super duper specialized. And it might not even revolve around a college degree. But I'm going to go with medicine, married to a doctor. Yes, I'm going to go with you need to go to college. Of course. But if any of my sons came to me and said, you know what? I think I want to major in marketing. I'd be like, no. Why would I say that? Did you guys see this headline? This is on unusualwhales.com. Don't you guys love all the different sites we use? I love it. Headline. Oh my gosh. This is like your face blows off. Nearly 60% of students with marketing degrees, nearly 60% students with marketing degrees are working high school level jobs 5 years after graduation. What? Nearly 60% as this is per Bloomberg. Generation Z ain't got a shot at the American dream, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I told you. This is why I gave you that boring soundbite from that dude on that TV show who's like, look, I just spoke to Donald Trump. He's laser focused on the deficit. He's laser focused on the cost of things. He wants taxes down. He wants interest rates down. He wants cost of life down. He wants the American dream at everyone's doorstep, because that's not where it is. And all 5 of my sons are in this Generation Z. Got to be honest with you, I have a vested interest in this. So this Generation Z, a demographic known for its adeptness in self-promotion and social media engagement, has shown significant interest in marketing degrees, particularly in creative aspects like brand development and advertising. Handshake, it's a platform focused on connecting undergraduates with job opportunities, reports a substantial increase in applications for marketing roles, nearly tripling since 2021. Despite this surge in interest, the job market for marketing graduates has become increasingly competitive, exacerbated by the rise of AI in the field. In a recent study by the Burning Glass Institute and Strata Education Foundation, found that nearly 60% of marketing students end up working in jobs that require only high school level skills 5 years after graduation. One of the key challenges facing recent marketing graduates is the expectation of prior experience, even for entry-level positions. Some senior vice president for blah, blah, blah noted that this trend has made it difficult for many marketing graduates to secure employment upon graduation. Nothing kicks you in the pants like graduating from college and working an hourly minimum wage job of suck. But it's what's going on. They have made these United States wholly unaffordable. And let's just go through some reasons why. It's not like there's this great swell of opportunities out there. You guys want to know what Bidenomics 101 has cost us? Just a small list, okay? Walmart closing 23 stores in 8 states, all of them blue. Target closing 9 stores in 4 states, all blue. Walgreens closing 900 stores, mostly in blue states. Bed Bath & Beyond is closing its remaining 360 stores. Oh, the Bed Bath & Beyond that made fun of, My Pillow and kicked it out. That's such a shame. Lowe's has closed 50 stores. Macy's closing 150 stores. Starbucks, 61 stores. Home Depot, 15. Dollar Tree, 1,000. Foot Locker is closing 400 stores. Gap, 350. Party City, 24. Big Lots is closing stores in California and Colorado. Burger King, 400 locations. Best Buy, 20. You guys think I'm done? I'm not. Boston Market, 200 stores. Kmart. How many of you have a Kmart where you are? Remember Kmart? I do. I remember Sears. I remember Penny's. I remember all of it. Kmart only has 2 stores left. What? Sears, all but 22 stores. Regal Cinemas, 429 movie theaters shut down. Kroger, they've closed 413. U.S. Bank, 23 branches. Wells Fargo, 60 branches. Capital One, 50 branches. Bank of America, closing 20. Now, what do you want to hear? You want to hear a candidate for president who's laser focused on the debt, who's laser focused on the crippling expense of Democrats suck for 3 years? Or do you want a Democrat who says he wants to finish the job? Because finishing the job is bankrupting you next. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, push back against Tyson Foods. It is a beautiful thing. My. The Bud Light phenomenon continues. I got the details for you next on the Wendy Bell radio program.
I want you to know that on Rumble, Salty is blaming you for his poor work performance.
Really?
Yep.
Why is that?
You're distracting.
What am I distracting?
I don't know. He's just blaming you for his poor performance.
How do you know it's a man?
Because he said it?
I do know that sometimes I can be good with the ladies.
Wow.
I'm equal opportunity.
What? Wow.
Just saying.
It's just in. Wendy just went non-binary.
If Diane's watching, hopefully she'll chime in here.
I think Salty should stop making excuses for his poor performance. It's mighty liberal of him to blame other people.
Salty, I'll drink you in with my eyes. How about that, sweetheart? Because you know what's coming up. If we get it. Did we get it? We didn't get it, did we?
No.
Son of a mother. You guys, 60 people. Do we have 60 people who can click that stupid button? Please, por favor. I'm just going to sit here uncomfortably and stare into the camera until we get 60.
Doesn't seem like it's going to work. It might be better if I do it. Because who wants me staring at them? Well,
I don't know. I don't.
And Wendy won't tell you this, but as soon as I hit the sounder for the last break, what did I do?
Sounder for the last break. What did you do? I have no idea what you did. Sounder for the last
Not two
break.
breaks ago.
Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. No clue.
Right,
What?
exactly.
What?
You know exactly.
What did you do?
Nothing.
I don't know. I honestly
I hurry
don't.
up and while it was playing, I hurried up and did a push-up.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay? Are you going to make it? Because I didn't see it. I didn't feel the ground rumble.
Making fun of my bulkiness.
3.5.
Bulkiness, right?
My man, you lost 60 pounds, okay? If you think
Yeah,
I'm
but
making fun.
I gained 10 back.
Did you gain 10 back?
Yeah.
Is that normal? They're kind of bounce rebound?
Most people gain a lot back.
Is that right?
So I was happy with just 10.
What do you attribute that to? Not starving yourself and drowning yourself with 7 gallons of water every day?
No, I honestly, I attribute it to wintertime.
Mm.
You know, less you're out doing stuff. Once baseball season starts, I'll sweat. I mean, I leave and I can wring out my shirt. Oh my. Yeah, I don't do push-ups. I push the earth down. What's that?
It's one of my favorite things that somebody made me.
What
It's got
is it?
some.
You can't pick it up and not tell people what
It's called Wendy's Soapbox, or it's Earl's Soapbox. So somebody created this for us. It's got some naughty words on it. I have to make sure. I want you to see how brilliant this is. So it's like a pile of poo. The compass for north is still north, right? Look at that. And look at all the things that are on it. Professional conspiracy theorist, FJB, Trump, Brock is always right.
So,
and never
amen to
invent-
that.
and never-
Say that one again.
Then there's Pizzagate, fake news, Biden-Ukraine conspiracy, election was stolen, Epstein did not kill himself, only 2 genders, male and female. There's no such thing as global warming, Democrats are liars, MAGA, the jab kills people, the border is wide open, Joe Biden is a liar and he sucks. January 6th was a setup. CIA and FBI are corrupt. COVID came from China. Fauci is a murderer. The COVID shot is made from snake venom. Michelle Obama is a dude. Barack killed his chef. Obama is gay. Hillary sucks. Hunter's laptop
Well,
is real.
if Michelle's a dude, it only leads to one thing.
I mean, this is to the individual who crafted this soapbox for me. I want you to know it means a lot to me.
That's I do sweat a lot. When I swim, I sweat.
See, and all I was going to do was stare you guys in the eye until you were uncomfortable enough. And if we had just stuck with that, you wouldn't know about his glands.
My glandular problem.
Your glands. I need to talk to Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike,
I need to express my glands.
Yeah. Are we supposed to do that on dogs and stuff? Like,
Your
what is
groomer
that?
will do it.
What does that even mean? They have to squeeze something and then something sprays out?
Yeah, like in their butthole.
Why? Why?
Because some of them get infected.
That can't be very comfortable for them to feel that.
That's why they scoot their butts on the ground. They're trying to express glands themselves.
Murphy doesn't do that.
Well, then he's probably fine.
It does his ears, though.
Well, if you tune into the pet show, you'd know all this. But no, I'm busy.
Like, I want to see you longer than I have to.
That is just hurtful. Yeah, don't forget to tune into Pet Show, Saturday, 10 a.m.
Tent.org organization, which I call the new BLM grift. It's a new reason for a bunch of companies to donate money or to create some overarching do-goodery that's not good for Americans. It's not good for Black people, Hispanic people, us, whatever. It's not good for left. It's not good for right. It's good for migrants. It's good for them. Come on in. We're going to give you job training. We're going to help you with legal advice. We're going to give you paid time off so you can go make sure you can attend your court hearings, right? We're going to do all this stuff. Child care, all of it. We love you, migrants. Welcome, 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 welcome. Woof. See, we believe in America first. And we believe that there is a legal pathway to get here. It is the way that generations of immigrants have come to these United States. And we're all about the best and the brightest, not about the criminals, not the MS-13 people, not those who kill us, who are dangerous. But no matter, this tent.org exists to create basically this conglomerate of 400 different companies around the world, many, many, many here in the United States, who pledge to hire migrants. And when Tyson Foods did this and they shut down their plant in Perry, Iowa, and everybody was paying attention, and you've got a community of like 8,000, 1,200 of them work at the same place, and you wave that wand and shut it down, it's going to hurt. And then when we found out at tent.org that Tyson Foods had said, no, in fact, we're going to hire 42,000 people, migrants, illegals, to make our food. It didn't really go over well. So this is your headline, New York Post. Tyson Foods gets slapped with a refuse to buy brand after hiring migrant workers, quote, should have known better. I want to imagine the disconnect anybody at Tyson has to have if they've not paid attention to Bud Light. They lost more than $1 billion last year because they rolled the dice on a tranny who doesn't even drink their product right? But they wanted to score some points, and what they did was completely alienate the base of their brand. And so the base said, suck it. And they stopped buying. $1.2 billion later, you think other people would learn. Tyson apparently is not paying attention. A conservative investment fund group is pulling its holdings of Tyson Foods over the meat and poultry giant's hiring of migrant and refugee workers, claiming the employment practice will repel customers. It's a nice way of saying, you don't believe in American exceptionalism, American first? Well, we don't believe in you, and we're not going to give you our money. Bye. The American Conservative Values ETF. This is an exchange-traded fund managed by Ridgeline Research LLC, divested from Tyson and slapped a refuse to buy rating on its stocks for its clientele. This is a company that has said, we're in the business of taking people's money and buying shares in brands that are worthy investments. We will not take your money and invest it over here because it is a refuse to buy brand. We will not do it. Do what you will with that. We believe Tyson's management has blundered into a political minefield and should have known better. Ridgeline founder and CEO Bill Flagg said Monday, ain't that right? Isn't that correct? Many Americans are outraged by the ongoing migrant crisis at the southern border, and learning Tyson is giving jobs to asylum seekers could be enough for them to stop buying the company's products, according to the CEO. You know, I know that I'm a little extreme. I mean, it's not hugely extreme, but when I go to the store and I need something, Joe and I look at the tag and see if it's made in China. If it's made in China, I don't buy it. Now, that might be a silly hill to die on, but I want to support America. I want to support people here in my country where I love liberty and freedom. Right? The risk of alienating a significant percentage of their customers outweighs any potential economic benefit, the CEO said. In a recent Pew Research poll, 80% of U.S. adults say the U.S. government is doing a bad job of handling the migrant influx. This guy claimed this is Ridgeline founder Bill Flagg. He claimed Tyson could become the next victim of angry Americans voting with their wallets. These are MAGA people. These aren't Democrats. Democrats don't care. They don't care. They don't see the migrant issue at the border the same way we do. I can only presume, because you would not vote for somebody who opened the border and created so much havoc in our communities. You just wouldn't. Quote, we've seen the negative impact of alienating customers recently with Bud Light and Target. And by divesting, we are protecting our shareholders. By the way, did you guys see any of the gear out at Target stores featuring the devil and satanic symbols on children's clothing? Target, what are you doing? Did you not hear all of the things that I read before the last commercial break, where we went over all of the closures? Because there's more. I have a whole list of them on the Wall Street Journal. Of course, Tyson is defending its hiring practices, noting that it only employs people legally authorized to work in the U.S. as it tries to dispel growing misinformation about its workforce. But I don't really see where the misinformation is. But this is what the company said. This is Tyson. In recent days, there's been a lot of misinformation in the media about our company, and we feel compelled to set the record straight. Any insinuation that we would cut American jobs to hire immigrant workers is completely false. I'm going to cut and paste that and put it over here in a side folder, because there's a reason that we're going to need to pull that back out and be like, well, actually, Tyson Foods is strongly opposed to illegal immigration, and we led the way and participated in the 2 major government programs to help employers combat unlawful employment, E-Verify, and mutual agreement, blah, 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 blah. Well, sir, I'm just going to tell you, optics, that's everything. And if you are going to you're going to cut one of your manufacturing facilities in Perry, Iowa, where 1,200 people are going to lose their jobs, and then we're going to find out through this tent.org of suck that you've pledged years ago. This isn't just something new. You weren't just like, you know what, maybe we could save some money. We used to be able to ship everything to China. That worked so well. Let's just do this, right? We're just going to fire everybody and we're going to replace them with all these people who are cheap. This has been going on for years and years and years. Layoffs in 2024, a list of companies cutting jobs this year. Oh my. Alphabet, Amazon, all of these companies, Unilever. Did you hear about this? They're ditching their Ben & Jerry's brand because Ben & Jerry's is such a just so difficult to manage their activism. They're cutting ties with their ice cream, Breyers, all of it. That's 7,500 jobs. We'll see if they get restructured. How about Cisco? They're cutting 5% of their workforce, 84,900 employees. How about Estee Lauder? 3,100 positions gone. Expedia, 9% of its workforce, 1,500 people. Fisker. Yeah, they're worried about a lot. They're cutting off 15% of their staff. Instacart, 250. Morgan Stanley, hundreds of workers. Nike, I hate when that happens to Nike. 1,600 people. I could go on and on and on and on. You know who's paying attention to this, though? And we drew a parallel to this earlier in the program, independents. Yet another poll shows Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden among independent voters by double digits. Look, we want to think that Republicans are over here with Trump, you got your Democrats over here with Biden, and that they're kind of tied. The people who are really, really fervently Donald Trump, the same number as the people who are really into Joe Biden, which I doubt. What are independents doing? Democrats have got to be freaking. This is Gateway Pundit. Donald Trump leading Biden among independent voters by double digits. As recently as January, Trump was leading Biden by double digits with independents in another poll. This is the continuation of that trend. Political media, I should say, tends to focus on the left and the right, especially in election years, as I just said. But Breitbart is reporting former President Donald Trump is taking a double-digit lead over Biden among independents. In this survey, it's an Economist YouGov survey taken March 10th through 12th, so about a week ago, among 1,559 U.S. adult citizens, asked respondents who they would support in a presidential matchup between Trump and Biden. Among all respondents, as well as registered voters, Trump leads Biden, we're told, only by 2 points. I don't know about that. Trump predictably has support from a majority of Republicans. Biden, same support among Democrats. But Trump is getting 40% of independents. And Biden, only 30%. And it's only going to get worse. Do you think they see the writing on the wall? No, not yet. They will. We've got such a great follow-up story. You guys remember the Indiana high school boy who drove his pickup truck to school with a giant American flag in the back, and his principal got his boxers in a bunch? Ooh, this is a great addition to the story for you. I got it for you next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I'm telling you, 10% swing for Donald Trump in independents is giant. Independents disapprove of the way Biden is handling his job by a whopping 63%. Holy mackerel. That's huge. What are you doing?
Nothing.
You look suspicious. I'm just saying, you look suspicious. You were leaning in a weird capacity. I was merely wondering if you were okay.
Oh, now you care.
I care all the time. Who's going to punch the buttons?
Got it.
Are we spinning the hits today?
I
Am I
we
hitting
are.
all
Got
of
it.
the bullet
no,
points?
I heard you loud and clear. I heard you.
Noted.
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 Noted. I heard you loud and clear. Wow.
It's not supposed to be fun.
It's good to know. It's good to know these things.
Is
right?
Is it?
Where you stand, it's always good to know.
Oh, I've got an update on Adam Schiff and Steve Garvey.
Did you see I got an alert that, what's it, Jared Malkowitz? Is that his name?
Jared Moskowitz?
Moskowitz.
Yeah.
Wore like a Putin mask to the hearing today with Bobulinski. We'll have that tomorrow. Yeah. What an idiot. Salty, you can't even do your job, you said. What makes you think you could do mine?
Oh, what's Salty saying here?
He says, I'm not just a button puncher, Wendy. I'm also a pretty face.
Oh.
You just admitted earlier that you get distracted away from her. What would you do if you were sitting between glass from?
Right.
Your poor job performance is on your resume right here on Rumble.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, Salty. Just saying. You come on here and say you do you blame her for your poor work ethic and poor performance, and then you ask for a job.
That is good. See, I'm going to put on my bracelet. See how powerful I am now?
Pew, pew, pew.
That's right. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
I am. What are you looking at? Why are you looking at me like that? You look like you had to burp.
No.
Do you have gas?
You really want to bring that up? You really want to bring that up, huh? You want to play? Do you want to play?
Oh, I'll play. I just absolutely love this story. So last week we told you about this very convicted, knowledgeable, patriotic, unwavering in his beliefs teenager in Indiana. This is the mom in me. I would love this boy. He had driven to school in his truck, and he had a big flag, big American flag, literally like he had fashioned a way for, I mean, it's giant, for it to hang in his truck, over the back of his truck without touching the ground, et cetera, et cetera. And he had no idea that he was going to take off the school because he got called into the office and they were like, yo, you're going to have to take your flag down. And he's like, I don't think so. And they're like, well, it kind of violates, it might make some people uncomfortable. And he was like, what? No, it doesn't. It's the American flag. Go ahead.
He came in with facts and said, I read the book.
So he's got the campus, the school's guidebook, a handbook. And nowhere in there does it say in protocol in the parking lot that you're not allowed to have a flag. And so he stood his ground and he said, I absolutely will not. And you absolutely will not discipline me for something that is so ridiculous. Unbeknownst to him, the next day, a dozen of his classmates come in and they also have American flags in their cars, hanging from their cars. So we've got a little bit of a conundrum here, don't we? It was a beautiful story of pushback and just liberal insanity. Now, I will say that the school principal, if I'm not mistaken, has said that they're going to put it in the guidebook, in the handbook next year. No flags allowed. If our American flag triggers some part of you, get the hell out of my country. I'm not playing. We're not playing. Get out. You're not welcome here. Same thing as the marching caravans of people walking in with their flags unfurled. You're not allowed in. Get out. Beat it. Well, here's your great story. This is from Fox 19 Now. Indiana high school student gets custom American flag wrap for his pickup truck. Wait, what? This is in St. Leon, Indiana. Story. An Indiana high school student received a major red, white, and blue upgrade to his pickup truck weeks after school administrators told him to stop flying an American flag. Cameron Blasek, a senior at East Central High School in St. Leon, Indiana, had flown an American flag from his pickup truck the entire school year. Earlier this month, though, he was told by school administrators that the flag broke the rules and had to be taken down. After Blasek showed administrators he had broken no rules, in fact, the school relented after a day. Now, I'm going to also tell you that there's a lot of pushback when it hit the airwaves. The American Legion noted Blasek for his support of the flag last weekend. A Cincinnati graphics company is supporting him with a new wrap for his pickup truck. GCI Digital Imaging in Cincinnati, a legendary marketing move, by the way. So all those marketing folks out there from the degrees in college that can't get anything past a high school paying job, well, GCI Digital Imaging in Cincinnati applied the wrap to his truck for free. The custom wrap features the stars and the stripes in a red, white, and blue color scheme. We did it because we are proud Americans that believe Cameron did exactly what needs to be done. Stand up for our freedoms, the owner, T.J. Bedecht, whatever, said. Now, they've provided some photographs, and I'm going to describe to those of you who are watching. This is them preparing the wrap on the hood of the car. So it's not just some like we're going to throw some decals on. We've got to treat the paint of this truck, and we're going to put this thing all over it and make you a driving, magnanimous American flag. And there it is. It's all over it. You've got the blue stars in the front, leading into the front quarter panel. Then you've got it into the red and the white stripes in the back. Beautiful. This is the antithesis, right? Of love. It's great marketing. Absolutely. We said their name. Name deserves to be said. We enjoy talking about Cameron as well. But this is where they're pushing you. They want to see how far they can go. And they is a pretty broad term. But think about what we've talked about today. We've talked about this obvious split in the Republican Party. You see it every time Congress takes a vote. There are those who represent your values. They vote in a steadfast, unwavering way along those values. And then there are those who are pliable, who are malleable like Play-Doh, who pretend that they're conservatives, but really not. You've got Ohio voters, Republicans saying 7 in 10, exit polling from yesterday's primary. Whomever the next senator is from this state must endorse and support the values and the platform of President Trump. Battle lines drawn. No mistaking it. Are you the side that does not believe in free speech, that does not love the American flag? Or are you on the side that says, you know what, not only am I going to do all of this stuff, I'm going to go get a firearm, and I'm going to be trained, and I'm going to be responsible, and I'm going to be ready for whatever comes this way, because I'm not going to count on my government doing anything other than they've done for the last 3 years, which is try to destroy us. Simple truth, common sense, conservative values. If you like what you hear, come back tomorrow. We'll see you then. Peace.